Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Blue-Black Tempo with Nethergoyf, Tamiyo, and lots of disruption. We've got 2 Thoughtseizes here. We've got 3 Nile Spellbombs out of respect for Reanimator, and we've got just good classic cards. Murktide, we've got a Brazen Borrower, and of course 4 Frogs. In terms of removal, we have 1 Go for the Throat. We have 4 Fatal Pushes. We also have Toxic Deluge and Dismember in the sideboard and an additional Brazen Borrower. And our plan is just to run them over, dazing their spells, wasting their lands, and getting something on the board that can go coast to coast. Either that's going to be a Psychic Frog, it's going to be a Nethergoyf, or potentially a Tamiyo that we ratchet up. In terms of sideboard, we've got the standard Double Harbinger, 3 Consign for the Eldrazi matchup. We've got 2 Hydroblasts. We have Engineered Explosives, which is good in a lot of matches, like any deck that has Carpet of Flowers. It's good against Urza Saga decks. And we've got the 2 Barrowgoyfs. That's right. I spent the big bucks to get these. They were like 20 bucks each, but everybody keeps raving about Barrowgoyf, and I wanted to be able to play it online as well as in paper, where I got them for much less money than $20 each a long time ago. So I'm hopeful that this will be a good show of the power of this deck, and let's go see if we can shred some combo decks. All right, round 1, we are likely up against Blue-Black Reanimator, which is great. Let's go ahead and test our might right off the bat, shall we? I'm going to keep this, and I think I'm going to intentionally float the Underground Sea out there. I can't fetch basics anyway, so I think I just open Thoughtseize here, just in case they are on combo. We have miraculously won the die roll, and I'm hopeful that this Thoughtseize can remove some critical card from their hand, such as a Brainstorm if they have Fanatic in their hand, or an Entomb, or a Frog, something that can enable them getting degenerate stuff into their graveyard. All right. I think Reanimate is the take here. Well, Entomb. The problem is Reanimate is a problem. Entomb, they can get a fatty. They can get a fatty off Troll. I think we have to put Reanimate in the yard, and then we have to hope that... I'm trying to think of a world where we can daze their Fatal Push, but we're not going to win if they're able to cast Reanimate. So I think I'll just take that. They're going to have a target either way. Now our plan is probably to go ahead and Tamiyo and see if that baits out the Fatal Push. Okay, it doesn't look like they're going to have any turn 1 play here. They put an Entomb in their graveyard. It's a nice redundant card. All right. In terms of lands, I didn't think about this, but that was their only land. It's unfortunate that we were not going to be able to punish this. I do think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Frog out, and then if they go to push it, what they'll probably do is they'll cycle. They'll go get a land, and then they'll try to play that land, and then they'll try to push. I'm going to try to live in that world where I can daze profitably their Fatal Push. At the very worst, Frog is likely to connect once if they don't go that route, if they play more conservatively. But, they certainly could just draw an untapped land or a daze or something like that. Yeah. We got to be aggressive. There's the Troll. They got the Underground Sea. This daze is not going to get any better. Daze is not the greatest card in this matchup. Don't daze me back. They're forcing. Surely they're going to force this. If they let me connect with Frog, they're doing so at their own folly. Yep, there's the force. Okay, so our Frog is indeed pushed. We do have a follow-up Frog. So let's take a look at their hand now. The composition of their hand, they have a fatty they can reanimate now. They played out Underground Sea that they revealed, so they exiled a Borrower, which is good for us because so their hand is likely Entomb, Ponder, and 1 unknown. All right, really getting a lot of Tamiyos here, but I think we keep pushing Frogs. I would love if their unknown was a Force of Will and they forced and pondered and they had literally nothing going on, but their deck does have a lot better top decks than mine because basically any top deck can potentially put Troll into play. That's a bummer. Oh, no. Okay, don't do anything. Oh, okay, yeah. They're just casting the Ponder we knew about. So their hand is in 2 and 1 unknown, and then they're going to have a second unknown soon. We just have to dodge them setting up Miracle, because Miracle, we just can't beat it. We can't beat a lifelink troll. So this is an example of everything going very well for us. Oh. Yeah, I think we do it. I'll go ahead and hit this one. Yeah. All right. We have nothing going on, but our opponent will not be able to Miracle now, if Miracle was what they were setting up with their Ponder. All right, they did find another land. They're brainstorming. Now they can put the Miracle guy back on top if they have it. Not a lot we can do here. If we find another wasteland, though, it's unlikely. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack with Tamiyo, and then I'm going to crack the clue and hope to draw into a wasteland. So I get 2 looks at wasteland here. Or if I get a Ponder or brainstorm, potentially 4 or 5 looks. It's a testament to the power of the deck that we're just assuming that they have the crazy Metamorphosis Fanatic on top. Or playing piano. I hope you enjoy it because I can't get them to stop. They're going to play very loudly regardless of what I say to them. Okay, they've opted to shuffle, which is a good thing. Yes, they did get a perfect brainstorm here. Is this a reanimate? It is. Okay, so this is not necessarily game over, but this is really bad for us because they just need to attack 3 times. That's not going to help us. I'm going to go ahead and start by attacking here. I do think I want to maximize my looks. I have not used my Surveil land, so I can use a Surveil land in addition to this. Nethergoyf is a 4/5. I mean, this actually... They have to attack 3 times. We have to attack 3 times. This races. Kind of. Let's see. Yeah, it like exactly races them. So they have to attack 3 times. We have to attack 3 times. Actually, they're going to get the first attack. I still think it's worth just going ahead and play them out. All right, we'll see what happens. They don't have anything left to reanimate in their graveyard, so reanimation effects are dead draws. If we can flip a Tamiyo, Tamiyo can reduce the damage he does, but it won't matter at this point. It's fine. I'm going to push it for sure. Do we want them to have the option of blocking here? I think we just attack and then we can push it. We have... yeah, I don't think we have the option of racing them anymore, and I do want to out-card quality them. They're definitely not going to block here. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to start by just pushing, because I need to make sure that that resolves. Now they have something to reanimate. If Force Blue card is their last card. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and see what I draw, because a Wasteland would not be a completely dead draw here. That surveils. Doesn't change the clock at all. Yep, I'm going to do that. I'll surveil, and like my only out is Borrower or go for the throat. Dropping into precarious territory here with 4 life. Okay, land is what we want to see. Murktide Regent, too little too late, unfortunately. Wait. If they don't have removal, we can block. How big will Murktide Regent? 1, 2, 3. It'll be a 6/6. They won't be able to kill both. But we won't be able to attack with Tamiyo. We could get a clue and read Tamiyo. I don't like this, but I think it's okay. Yeah, because I have force for a removal spell. I can buy a little bit of time. Actually, if they don't attack, then we attack and we kill them. Yeah. No, we don't kill them. But I feel like this is better than just nothing here. The cards that I'm going to remove are going to include my Psychic Frogs. Just because, well, 1, 2. It's going to make my Nethergoyf pretty piddly, but it will still trade. 1, 2, 3. So this is a 6. So I actually don't need to exile the Thoughtseize. I don't think I exile that. They go 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 5. I can survive double daze here. They have force. They have nothing left in hand. I'm going to just force back here. Okay, so I got the... yeah, we just have to chill until something happens. Their top decks are definitely better than ours. Best top deck, of course, would be removal. Any reanimation effect, they get a frog back. I'm going to block here. Let's see what they want to do. Okay, they're going to kill my big guy. That's fine. Do they have another, like an animate dead? No. Okay, well, I'm not sure why they did that. I don't think that was smart. That is a pretty sick rip. This allows me to flip Tamiyo. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. It does make my Nethergoyf bigger. I think... What am I dead to here? Bowmasters, but I don't think they play Bowmasters. I'm going to go ahead and crack this and see what I draw. Okay, she flips. And I have their land. I am going to cut them off one of their lands. I'll wait till their upkeep. Oh, no. If they have freaking Brazen Borrower, we're dead. Okay, they don't have it. Good. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, I think I still should have done what I did. Like, the odds of them having Brazen Borrower is like 1 in 40 probably. We did it. We tempoed them. Yeah, that felt good. All right, let's go to game 2. Sorry, I shouldn't celebrate too much. It's just game 1. Come on, calm down. But it's good. It feels good to win the first game of the league. No, this is not what I meant to put in. We meant to put this in. This is definitely coming in. Barrowgoyfs come in. Dismember comes in. I think Brazen Borrower definitely comes in. I think we can take out a couple forces. I think we can take out a couple dazes. We can take out a wasteland. You know, maybe we take out all our dazes. Keep our forces in. My reasoning is they just developed their lands, their mana so quickly, and we don't ever really want to go after the mana. I'm trying to think if there's any other substitution to be made. I don't think there is. Force saved us there for sure. Like they would have been able to... What were they going to cast on one of our creatures? Or they were going to counter the Murktide and we had to force it through. So I think Force is good in the matchup. It can feel bad going down a card against the deck that can do all kinds of degenerate stuff and refill its hand. This is a snap keep. It doesn't have everything we want, but I like the Force blue card. I like the Dismember. I like the Wasteland, kind of. Definitely going to open with another Thoughtseize here. They may daze it, which is totally fine with me. I still think Thoughtseize is the open here. That's fine. They may be putting the Maniac or the Fanatic 2 down, so they draw it 2 turns from now. All right. So cards that are going to be the most annoying. Bowmasters is annoying. It does stop us from being able to flip Tamiyo. It does give them something to reanimate, though. I think we just take the reanimate itself and accept that we're going to probably have to dismember Bowmasters. What I would love to do is have them cast a Fatal Push on our Tamiyo and then be able to flip it. Here comes Bowmaster. Oh, Frog. So Frog can survive if we dismember. So I think we just need a Force here. And that, it looks like that's what they were hiding. So I'm going to pitch the Brainstorm here. Even though we know they have Fatal Push. Fatal Push will trade 1 for 1, and then later they won't have anything to Fatal Push. Okay. This does grab a Surveil land. Let's take a look at their hand again. Do they have any other mana sources? I think they played them both out. We may be able to just cheese. They have Ponders. I don't think it's correct to try to cheese here. No, maybe it is. If we can get them to spend a turn pondering, that's not the worst for us. Also, this does keep them from Metamorphosis if that was their plan. Okay, here's the Ponder. Anytime if we draw a Brainstorm, we can Tamiyo and flip. I think I don't want to give them something to do if they're stuck on 1 mana. They can Ponder again and hold the Fatal Push. There's the second. Oh, they got a Troll. Okay. Well, that is a reanimation target. Hopefully they reanimate that rather than Frog. Okay. I'm going to go fetch my Surveil. We definitely don't want any more land. Ponder is fine. I'll keep that. So did they use both ponders? So we think their hand is Orcish Bowmasters, Fatal Push, 3 unknowns. I'm going to start by pondering here. There's no reason. If I can find a wasteland, that would be great. Now Spellbomb's quite good. I think we just take that. Draw through. We can actually crack Spellbomb, and we can pick up a force if we need it. I'm going to go ahead and preserve the fetch for later. I definitely don't want this to get dazed. And also, we can use this to exile their graveyard and flip Tamiyo next turn if we don't have anything better to do. And flipping Tamiyo is good against their deck because they don't actually have that many ways to deal with it other than reanimated fatties. All right, let's see what they target, but I am going to be exiling their graveyard here. And it doesn't make sense to force this, in my humble opinion. So this comes on, they're casting it. Let's see what they target. It doesn't matter. I'm going to exile it. All right. So I believe we're drawing land here. If that's the case, yeah, we probably should have just played out the delta there. I think I'm going to wait until after like combat, because what I want to do is be able to dismember and make sure that they don't just return it with another fanatic. That would be really annoying if they fanaticked into... So they did put a card on top of their library. Is it another fanatic? So Thoughtseize. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I think life is worth preserving. If they have double daze, they have double daze. Okay. So I think they'll probably take Tamiyo here and strand us with the force. But it's possible they put back Orcish Bowmaster, but that would definitely be something that they could be casting this turn once they know the coast is clear. All right. There's the Bowmasters we knew about. Not rendering for some reason. All right, and that is a clock. So I'm definitely punished for not just, shuffling last turn and drawing that dead. Oh, now I'm really punished. Okay, well, I am going to play it out because now I have Hardcast Force, but this is not a good position to be in. They know I have Hardcast Force up. They're probably not going to do anything. All right, Goyf's coming down. I can bring Goyf back later if I need to. I'm going to play this out precisely because I do want to be able to force the protect. Like, I'll happily force the push if that gets a second card out of their hand, even if it's just a daze. Yeah, I am going to go ahead and force this. All right. So we 1-for-1. That was good conversion. Okay, now they're going to combo us, unfortunately. But we didn't know that they had the combo. I still stand by the decision to force. I think it's unlikely that we stop them from killing us with the combo here. Another troll. They have so many enablers in their deck. It seems unfathomable that they wouldn't find one. I'm going to go ahead and attack. If they push, I can just return it. I'm going to be taking chunks of their life as I can. Just being aggressive. Wow, they didn't even block with the Orc Army token. So I'm going to pop this out just to make sure I don't already have a Nethergoyf. I don't. I would love to return one, though. Nethergoyf's text of returning from the graveyard is quite good. I think that's totally fine. I think they're underestimating my Nethergoyf, but I don't know what's in their hand. There's the Reanimate. They're still 2 away from hardcasting Fanatic if it's stranded in their hand. They've used 1 Brainstorm and 2 Ponders, so they've used 3 of their cantrips. They're probably going to attack here. No, they're keeping this back. That's smart. All right, Fatal Push. I mean, I'm kind of tempted to just Fatal Push the army and do damage. Then they have to hold back next turn. They can't attack. It all depends on what they draw. Yeah, I'm a mad lad. This is the tempo thing to do. If they just have another Bowmasters, then I'll look like a fool here. They can no longer reanimate Atraxa at this point if this connects. Shoot the Sheriff is fine. We'll exile, I guess a Tamiyo. Dismember, we're pretty low on life. A Ponder. A land. This is still going to be a 5-6? Yes. And it'll be probably like a 4-5 next time we do it. That Wasteland. I am totally fine with that. Okay, yeah. This is working out really well for us. I love it. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and play it out first. I mean, maybe they have force. I don't feel that afraid anymore. All right, they are keeping their bowmasters out. But now, like, they're going to need a lot of stuff to stop my single Nethergoyf. This one blue, this one black mana creature that's doing them so much damage here. Yeah, and they're not even attacking. I think they should attack if they're not going to block. I'm going to hold this as an unknown. Okay, they are taking the trade here. It's not a trade. They're jumping. They don't want to get too low. They don't know that I don't play bowmasters of my own. But because most decks do play bowmasters, but I've opted to play an extra Thoughtseize and an extra non-spellbomb here. I'm trying to think of any reason why I wouldn't want to play this out pre-combat. I can't think of one. That's it. We did it. We took them down just through deliberate chops with our Nethergoyfs. Let's go to round 2. All right. We're up against not be excellent, but excelente, which means excellent in Spanish. This is a solid hand. This is an unknown opponent. I like this hand a lot. I wish it had a second colored source for the frog, but I do think it's fine, especially now that they're mulliganing to open Thoughtseize and hope that they don't waste us. There are a lot of things that could go wrong. Pondering to get a second land is totally acceptable, but I feel like if they're mulliganing, they could be a combo deck, and Thoughtseize is the only thing we have going. They're taking a long time to think about these mulligans too. All right. Hopefully it's like a Moon Stompy type thing. All right. Well, think I'm taking the Blood Moon here. The rest of their hand is fast mana, which will get them nowhere, basically. If they just rip another Blood Moon, GG. They probably do play 6 to 8 in their deck. That's coming in tap. That's a great sign. All right. And now the Wastelands will begin. That is a perfect rip. And I think we do go ahead and Nethergoyf here. Pondering is tempting. Let's see. Shatter Skull Smashing. Yeah, I mean, this is bigger than what they have going on. Sí, excelente. Okay. So I say good luck, have fun, but they're clearly not having good luck here with their opener and me having to have the perfect card for them. The perfect foil in Thoughtseize. Okay, is this going to be tapped? It is not. Bloodwind could still wreck it for me. Okay, that's not a new card. Right, 1 petal, 2 petal. Okay, is this initiative? Fable. It's a very good card. I'm going to push this, and I'm going to waste. And I think that will set them back substantially. So the reason I'm pushing here, I guess I can go ahead and attack and see if they block. They won't block. That would be crazy. Okay, now I just want the extra damage. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. Okay, and now they're going to need to draw land and threat because virtually everything in their deck costs 2 mana. And they can use this ability to discard 1 card, the card that they just top decked. They chose not to use it, so I presume they probably have a land in hand. Unless they're okay with just waiting for a turn. So I think this turn, we just go ahead and stick the Psychic Frog. Between Nethergoyf and Psychic Frog, we do have enough to prevent them. I am going to get an island here. I'm not a total maniac. If they stop this somehow, the Nethergoyf gets bigger. So you always play before you attack. Just little heuristics I'm trying to tighten up before Eternal Weekend to make sure I'm playing right. If you want to see how I'm learning, watch the video that I did with Joyful Waffle where we scrutinized his every play across 15 matches, all of which he won. He won 15 matches in a single day, playing a deck very similar to what I'm playing. Yeah, so this does represent them being able to do stuff now. I think I do want to ponder first because I'm going to have to discard to kill that thing. I mean, as crazy as this sounds, this is a mulligan or a shuffle because I'm not really looking for any of these cards. I feel like it's almost embarrassing to shuffle that. Oh, this is so good. I'm so glad I did that. All right. I could ponder again, hoping to find a wasteland. mean, I don't really need these cards either. What would I need? Like removal, more dazes. I'm looking for a wasteland. Specifically, that's the card that I think flips. Not that the script needs to be flipped. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is after block, I am going to discard this Nethergoyf. It grows both of my attackers. Now we're drawing a card. It's not a wasteland, but it's fine. Let's pass. We've got double interaction up. This is amazing. Yeah, that was just textbook like how you beat Red Prison, which I don't know if we're favored against. We're definitely not favored against Painter, but I think we might be favored here because we do have basics. We didn't see really anything. I mean, technically this can hit if they play Chalice, but like most people aren't playing Chalice anymore. All right, now I'm going to go and take a look at how INF sideboards. Oh, they created an English one. We don't have to look at the Japanese one. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so my list is different. I'm playing Tamiyo. They are not playing Tamiyo. Red Prison. Okay, out 2 spell bomb, 4 days, 2 bones. Okay, so they're playing Emperor of Bones in place of Tamiyo, but it's heartening to see them take out daze, which I think is pretty dead. Okay. They're also playing No Rod, which I don't think is good enough. Consign of Memory is pretty weak. I mean, it might not be terrible here. Okay. So, consign. So they're bringing in the Hydro. They're bringing in Sheriff, which I think Shoot the Sheriff is weaker than... Toxic Deluge may actually be good here. I think we bring that in. This definitely comes in. I don't know that they play Brazen Borrower in the sideboard, but Brazen Borrower is good in this matchup. So I agree for sure. We can take out the dazes and we can take out these spell bombs. That does give us some room for consigns. One consign. I think Engineered Explosives is worth playing. If you think about it, it kills like the treasure tokens, it kills Moxes, it kills a lot of stuff. It kills Chalice if they just happen to be playing Chalice. So other cards that might be able to come out then if we're taking that out. Maybe we don't need this. You could argue we don't necessarily need Toxic Deluge, but that is like we're on the draw. They're going to be developing faster than us. I feel like it's good. All right, I'll do that. No, like Borrower has to be better than Consign. It just deals with so many problematic things. And I will be creating my own sideboard guide. I just wanted to get in some more reps with this build first. I am convinced that 3 Nile Spell Bombs is good right now. I expect an Eternal Weekend. You know, this gets basic land. This also has the option of Fatal Push. This also has Hydroblast. If they turn 1 Blood Moon, we're screwed. They kept... I'm going to keep. Don't Blood Moon us. Okay. 1 mana. Okay, they Blood Moon. Oh, Fable. Yeah, this sucks too, but it's not. It's nothing we can't overcome. All right, and this is where drawing Engineered Explosives would be really good. All right, so I think what we have to do probably is just Hydroblast the next thing they put on the stack. If we go, first of all, I want to make sure we get Basic Island just in case they, mill into Blood Moon. I think we take a crack from this. And we can always blast this if they don't cast anything of consequence. What I'm thinking is they'll probably play a land at some point and kill that City of Traders themselves. They are going to have mana from the treasure token though, because we're not pushing that right now. I just feel really foolish if I went and got Underground Sea, pushed that, and then they just like, okay, post-combat, I'm going to play a Blood Moon. That would be catastrophic for us. They pitched 2 lands. Maybe they're not planning to play any more lands. They don't necessarily need to. Lotus Petal, that's a bad card. Please. Oh, Broadside. This makes me think that they don't have Blood Moon. I think I go Underground Sea here and I just push the Broadside. I want to keep Blast up for next turn. I don't think they're going to cast anything else. This is a opportunity for me to kill Broadside. And now that they pitched lands to their graveyard, it does make me think maybe we do want to go ahead and maybe we do want to go ahead and waste this because they may have just thought like, oh, okay, they're not going to waste that and kept their lands for that reason. Okay, so they get a treasure. So it's like a one-time use land. What I'd like to do is probably brainstorm into a fetch so I can get a basic. Oh, well, we could just organically draw a basic. So one option we have is just to push here. Dotseize's utility is very rapidly declining. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and Dotseize now. Or we could just frog. I mean, but the problem is we don't have any way to defend frog if they have a blast in their hand. I think I am going to go ahead and do this. Yep, they had blast, and they have a Chrome Mox that doesn't do anything. So they could still rip something good. I kind of want to kill this and then blast this later. I can't kill this and blast that later. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do this. And next turn, I'll get to frogging. I'll frog and wasteland. So they get the Fable guy. Let's see what they draw. If they go to combat, I might... No, because it's just too much easier to... Well, so I can waste and push that next turn. I kind of do like denying them mana here by blasting. Yep. Okay, another Fable. So that's pretty bad. That's some serious value for them. Okay, so now I'm kind of feeling dumb for blasting there. Oh, Nethergoyf, it's good. I think maybe we just play up Frog, and then they're forced to attack into it. But they can copy here. I think we just have to probably... If we take this out, then they don't have any good copies. I'm going to hit that. Nethergoyf is going to be pretty stacked. I am worried that they could just start copying stuff. I think the safe thing to do is just wait an extra turn, give them a treasure, give them 2 damage, let them have 1 more attack with this. Their top decks are much worse than mine, especially now that they have 3 total mana. They're going to have a 4th mana though. So if they're playing like the... if they're playing... What's the name of the card? I'm sorry. I'm struggling to come up with it. Caves of Chaos Adventurer, which some of these decks do play caves. Yeah. Because what you don't want is you don't want to leave that in play and then next thing you know, ooh, Barrowgoyf. Yeah, they're definitely going to discard that Mox. Okay, and they drew a card. I'm tempted to just end step Brainstorm here. How insane would Engineered Explosives be here? It would kill like their entire board. That's definitely the best card in our deck right now. Okay, so options. 1, we could just find a force. We do have 4 forces. We have 5 forces. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find a force. Okay, we found it. All right. So this can go back. We'll draw this for turn, I guess. Question is, do we want to force pitching Psychic Frog? I don't think we do. I think Psychic Frog is good enough. Okay, yeah, that would have been pretty devastating. All right. I mean, there's definitely an argument for Nethergoyfing there instead. I think I'm just going to let this hit me, and I'm going to start drawing cards with Frog, though. And if they hold this back and they block, I'll happily pitch a card. They don't have much of a board now. If they attack in, I think I might just trade. Or not trade, but discard Nethergoyf. No, I think it's crazy. Yeah. Okay, so we can kill... I'm going to definitely kill this. And I'm going to attack in. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to exile some cards. 1. They didn't attack last turn. I don't think they'll attack this turn. Trying to think of if there are any cards that we don't really care about. We're never going to Thoughtseize them again. Oh no, that was our sorcery. Okay, I'm sorry. That was a bad play. Well, I'll attack first. Yeah, that was a really bad play. Like, we just unnecessarily shrunk our Nethergoyf. Brazen Borrower. Yeah, if they attack in, I'll just pitch the Borrower to make Nethergoyf big enough to survive. I'm kind of afraid of Fury now. They are attacking in. Creating a token, that makes me think they have a 3-drop to cast. I'm just going to take it. Brazen Borrower can handle a lot of things. Yeah, that was really dumb. Sorry. So what happened, if you didn't follow what I said, I was like, oh, I'm never going to use my Thoughtseize again. But I didn't think about the fact that the Thoughtseize was the only sorcery in my graveyard. Okay. What the heck card is this? It's not showing up. The One Ring. That's not good. All right. So, yeah, that's pretty dangerous. But if we bounce it back to hand, they can actually play it again. Oh, now they can. So we're going to need like a wasteland. Again, this would be a great time to draw engineered explosives. Yeah, I think we just have to surveil. And do we let them... Okay, so we wait for them to activate it, and then we can bounce it. No point in attacking in. What are they adding mana in for? Oh, they're just doing it because they can. They take a damage. I want them to cast something and then I bounce it. Because I do see... Well, it's probably fruitless to like stop their mana here. I think probably bouncing this out of play is better than trying to bounce this back to their hand. If they have... what's it called? I'm dead. Broadside. What is this? This is Fury. We'll see how they put the damage on the creatures. Do you not get to see how they're targeting with damage? 3 damage and 1 damage. Okay. So there's no way we can keep Frog alive. That's unfortunate. So now the question becomes, do we bounce the Shaman token or do we bounce Fury back knowing that they can just recast it? I think we have to bounce this token and hope to draw something. I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. Yeah, this is a like pretty precarious situation. So they're slightly constrained on mana. We really need to find, like, trying to think of what cards we even have in our deck that could help here. That's not it. If anything can help us is this. Murktide, huge Murktide. I'm here for it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can do a full-size Merc. And then I will put this Delta. Yep. Not a lot we can do here. They're almost certainly going to have a Blast. Oh, wait. I could attack in. And their Furies... Let's see if they traded their Fury. I don't think they will. I'm dead either way. So, like, this is... Like, I'm just trying to get a little damage and get slightly closer to killing them. Because they do have 1 ring to worry about. They did see me tapping mana, so they know I'm going to cast something. Yeah, Murktide was probably actually the best draw in our deck, other than maybe just like something to kill it with. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll leave the Hydroblast in there. But realistically, Broadside, another Fury, like there are so many things they could draw that just are GG for us. We really just have to get lucky. Actually, if they tap it, they're taking 3 and we're attacking for 8 and they whiff, we can still win. I don't think that's likely, but that is, something that could hypothetically happen. It's also worth noting that they can't really tap this. Dead Gone. They're casting on maybe. There's the Broadside. We're dead. All right, we tried. Okay, let's go to game 3. So I don't think anything changes game 3. It is worth noting that Consign would have been good here. Probably. There are a lot of triggers it could have stopped. Engineered Explosives would have just been the nuts, though, if we'd managed to find it. Do we want to keep Dismember in? Dismember did feel pretty bad, but it wouldn't have ultimately mattered because they would have been able to attack for 2 and then throw Fury at us for 7. So we would have died even if we hadn't taken 4 off Dismember. We would have been at 7 plus 2. We would have been at 9. Oh, yeah, we would have survived, actually, had we not dismembered. But, something else would have happened. I like Dismember just in case they have Magus of the Moon. It's another out. Yeah, I'm strongly considering Consign after seeing that. Borrower wasn't super good there. When Borrower got rid of a token, it could have come down and helped close the game. I think I'm going to keep Borrower. I'm not convinced. This is probably result-oriented thinking, but like we could... Thoughtseize would have definitely been something we could have cut there. I didn't think about it. I already submitted. It's not going to let me change anything. Thoughtseize was pretty good. But Thoughtseize is a terrible top deck. This is a mulligan. Oh, is it? Yeah, it is. Even though it has the island, I still don't think it's defensible. This is a keep. I think what we do is we Thoughtseize, and then... I mean, Tamiyo is probably not very good here. We don't have anything to flip her. I'd much rather just work my way up to a Psychic Frog. So I think we're going to Underground Sea, Thoughtseize, and then the following turn, we can Nethergoyf. Hydroblast, obviously, really strong, assuming they don't have a double moon hand. If they have a double moon hand, we'll probably actually have to take the card that they use to get the moon into play. So we can slow down and potentially Hydroblast and then potentially draw into a force. If we get a frog on the table, that's like really the strongest plan is just getting a frog. They did mold a 6. Let's see what's in their hand. Show me your secrets. Ghost Vacuum doesn't really matter that much. Not that concerned about it. I am concerned about the Blood Moon though. And they would have it. They would have had turn 1 Blood Moon. All right. Instead they're going to have turn 1 Ghost Vacuum, which will slow our roll a little bit. I'm going to definitely waste the Tomb. It represents the most mana. I'll waste probably whatever mana they play. Right? Did they draw a 3-drop? Okay, so what they're doing is they're keeping Ancient Tomb in hand, which is smart. They don't want to risk me wasting it. Yeah, and I don't think I waste here because this only reps... Yeah, they don't have that much mana. We'll see what I draw. If I draw... Obviously, I'm not going to waste if I draw like any land that can produce black or blue mana. Yeah, so here, I'm definitely just going to play the frog. And then I'll waste next turn. And here we just have to kind of hope to high roll that they don't have the spell. It's fine. Nethergoyf was not going to do a lot here, unfortunately, because of Ghost Vacuum. I mean, it's a very slow effect. That's cool art. But it's a very slow effect. They will eventually have enough mana to use it and put a bunch of 1/1s in play because their deck does use a lot of mana. The Ghost Vacuum is really designed for this type of deck. Okay, what is this? The great news is like we're out of Fury range. I will pitch my hand to keep this alive. For sure. I might even pitch another Nethergoyf. We'll see. They are wisely holding that Ancient Tomb in their hand. Okay. These are all pretty good. I think Nethergoyf is the card that goes back. I think I will put this Brainstorm here. Now I have the ability to go fetch black if I need to. I'm going to just go in. I don't want to start... Yeah, I don't want to get that card back. I'm going to go ahead and just get a swamp here. Now I'll draw. That is definitely a card I can pitch next turn. But I'm not going after the life total as hard as I could. I could just pitch everything except the Hydroblast. That's definitely one angle to go. That's fine. Now I can't jump the frog easily. Just put that Ancient Tomb into play. Let me waste it. You got one shot with it. Or no shots. Interesting. I'm not sure why they put it into play now of all times. So Thoughtseize, I think, is a discard. I think we're unlikely to find purchase there. I'm trying to think. What could they have? I mean, I suspect what most likely they have in their hand is just... they could have a Fury. Yeah, I'm going to try this. I don't think they have any instant speed cards. Okay, no blocks. I'm going to go ahead and discard this. I'll draw. And let me know in the comments if you think I'm being way too passive. I am totally open to criticism that I might be too passive here. I think I'm going to look at their hand. If they have like the One Ring chilling there that they're afraid I'm going to daze, that would be notable. I think I just take the Simian Spirit Guide and ignore the vacuums. I know that seems weird, but it is something that can like block. I'm going to get rid of this. All right. And I could have waited till their turn and done it during their turn in case they untap, like cast some big fatty. That was like a tiny little optimization. Yeah, that's fine. You're about to see how bad Ghost Vacuum is against non-Reanimator blue-black. They didn't even play the other one out. Well, I am going to Hydroblast that. I think I'm going to draw. I am going to go ahead and Brainstorm before I do anything, just because there might be some dead cards I can throw away. I want to keep Borrower. I could borrow a Mox back to their hand. What is their hand? Their hand is currently just Ghost Vacuum. One unknown. I don't think that's strong enough. I like the idea of getting Brazen Borrower out as a backup attacker. So I'll pitch the Polluted Delta and the Nethergoyf this turn, and I'll draw the Brazen Borrower next turn. I'll keep Fatal Push. I'm going to go ahead and attack. I am going to discard. And just probabilistically, they're unlikely to have a second blast. I think they only play like 3 or 4. And they don't have very much card selection in their deck at all. So I just want to start doing damage here. Oh, Nethergoyf can actually come back if they don't exile it for some reason, but they probably will. No, wait, it can't. Okay, they're vacuuming my Nethergoyf. They do have mana here. Another Ghost Vacuum. I'm so glad they brought in Ghost Vacuums. Like, whenever your opponent brings in cards that are largely irrelevant, it's just the biggest gift. Now, I am playing like Murktides and stuff like that. I can see how it's not completely irrelevant, but it's certainly not great. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did last turn and Brainstorm here. Another Psychic Frog is great. I don't even know if I need the Fatal Push anymore. I think what I'm going to do... I definitely don't need this land. Sorry if I'm so indecisive. Like, I just don't want to screw up. Okay. I think we just put these two back. And I'm going to go black, or blue-black. Let's play this out. And now I'm going to attack. There was no reason to do that before combat, by the way. I kind of want to just put as much pressure on them as I can. Yeah. And yeah, they can definitely kill that. I'll still have a frog. I don't think they're going to get to the point where putting 1/1 Nethergoyfs into play. Actually, I don't know if Nethergoyf would just instantly die. No. Okay, well, we won. That was just kind of a slow, tedious like dance. But we got there. 2-0. All right. Round 3 against Artimac. They are on the Barrowgoyf version of Moon Stompy. They've got 2 main deck Pyroblasts. Most likely. This is like a list from yesterday. It was like a week ago. But yeah, like precisely what you'd expect. Oh, they have 6 moon effects. So we definitely need to get our basics. Let's take a look and see. We are on the play. We have 1 basic. We have a force. I'm definitely going to pitch Murktide with this force. I'm going to keep. We have the Tamiyo into Brainstorm combo. We also have Psychic Frog, which is the best card in the matchup. I'm feeling pretty good. This said, this is probably like the most or one of the most experienced Moon Stompy players out there. So we will not take this lightly. If we play Underground Sea, we may walk them into casting Blood Moon, or maybe we deter them from playing Blood Moon by just opening an island. Now maybe they're going to prioritize something else. And we can squeeze our Psychic Frog in before we get cut off black mana. Because I will probably get Psychic Frog out before attempting to flip. Vexing Bobble is fine. It sucks, but, All right. Second Tamiyo. Sad that we have like basically two dead cards in our hand, but them's the breaks. Play this. It's not that sad because we have Psychic Frog. We can pitch them to Psychic Frog. Again, they do have main deck Blast, though. So I'm going to be reluctant to pitch to Psychic Frog unless we absolutely need to. But given that they have little card selection, I think it's totally fine to pitch, these 3 cards. This is 1 ring mana. They are legend ruling their City of Traders, which we don't hate to see. Maybe they have... Oh, wait. Did they play the City of Traders second? Okay, never mind. They're not legend ruling it. I'm just being a fool. Okay. This is Blood Moon, which I can't stop. Another Vexing Bubble. They'll probably pop it. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to attack with both of these. And then I am going to discard some cards. Yeah, I'm going to discard this. I don't think having another mountain matters. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go a little bit deeper. I think I discard backup Tamiyo. Now that I've created the clue, I think I can go ahead and brainstorm and decide whether I want to go deeper. Okay, so Nethergoyf, this is a discardable card. Everything in my hand is discardable at this point. It's just a question. I think maybe we put back the forces because there is a world in which they crack the bubble to get things going. Yeah, but basically what we have on the table is what we have. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make the deer frog huge. Inflict damage as quickly as I can. Get him on a 2-turn clock, or it's like a 3-turn clock. And you could argue that maybe I should have held back for the sake of being able to crack clues. But I know I'm drawing dead next turn. So now it's 6-7. It's like out of reach of Fury. It's out of reach of, I think, almost anything that Broadside can throw at it. It's probably out of reach of Barrowgoyf. We've got 4 card types. Yeah, the fact that they rely on damage-based, I mean, the Pyroblasts are definitely the scariest thing in their deck right now. Tamiyo's just going to chill here and tick up in the background. She wasn't really going to do anything. The game's not going to last long enough for us to eat these clues unless they somehow get rid of our frog. I'm going to definitely change how I sideboard for games 2 and games 3. I'm going to take out Dazes and I'm going to take out Thoughtseize, and I will bring in Consigns. Could be Fable. I'm trying to think what they would be thinking about. They do have 4 cards in hand, though, so they have a lot of options. There's Broadside. They're just going to chump with Broadside, I guess. Okay, they may try to kill Tamiyo. Maybe that's what they're thinking. They are attacking Tamiyo. That's fine. I don't care. I'll go ahead and see what I draw before I plus her. I am thinking we inflict maximum damage here. I don't think they're going to crack Bobble. Wait, can we kill them? We can't kill them. Oh, we could have killed them. We missed lethal. We bring back a card with Tamiyo, and then we can hit him for lethal. That is a lesson. But now I don't think there's any reason to pitch the Force of Wills here. Yeah, it's embarrassing. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card here just to see what I draw. A Brazen Borrower is pretty good. Yeah, I'll draw another card here. They're going to go down to 2. This turns off a lot of things they can do here. It's just embarrassing to have missed lethal like that. Yeah, we don't really... I mean, we can borrow stuff back in, but I don't think there's like much to do here. That was just a boneheaded play. This is why we practice. But you saw, I didn't totally miss lethal. I caught that I missed lethal. It's just that I'd already clicked into my attack step. If they find a Pyroblast, we will absolutely be punished, but I think we can probably still figure out a way, maybe still figure out a way. The fact that they're still playing implies that they do have something they can do. Maybe they're like, oh, they missed lethal. Maybe they'll make some other mistake. Okay, they are cracking it. So, see what they draw. They can throw Blood Moon at Tamiyo to kill her, but it's not going to change the fact that they have a giant frog that they have to deal with. Fury. I think that's fine. Okay, they're throwing it at this. And then they can throw 7 at it. So it's 4 plus 7 equals 11. And I definitely cannot get it up to 11. So yeah, they pay a high cost here. High price, but they are going to be able to kill. Yep, that sucks. All right. Okay, well, yeah, missing lethal. Definitely embarrassing. Now we're paying the price. I think what we do here, the simple thing to do is probably bounce Blood Moon, end step, and then we can just, I'm going to keep ticking up. Yeah, and I'll just pass. So I'm going to bounce Blood Moon, and then I can have Black Mana to go for the throat. And if I can find a land, I can even put Borrower into play. They're going to have to probably throw something at Tamiyo if they want to keep her from ultimating. So we've already gone through 2 of our Force of Wills. We have 2 Force of Wills left in 45 cards. We don't have a way to win here, though. I think I am going to go ahead and just crack this clue to see if we get lucky. We do not. Okay. So they're almost certainly going to hit the Tamiyo here. And I don't think they're going to throw it. No, that wouldn't make sense. Okay. Yeah, we're probably going to lose. All right. Yeah, I think we just pass. This is definitely like one of those things I'm going to be lying in bed late at night. Like I can't go to sleep. I can't think about how if I just regrown any card in my graveyard and then cracked my clue, I would have had enough to kill them. Okay, so they're attacking there. They're attacking there. Yeah, that's fine. We'll see if they throw something at her or if they're just content to do damage and keep her loyalty down. That's fine. Just playing it out as something to throw. That works. So really I get one shot here. If I bounce this, then I get one shot to go for the throat. I'm trying to think if there's any other play I'm missing, but I think that this is fine. And then assuming that I draw a land, I can just play this out and attack for lethal next turn. I don't think they're going to be able to kill me from where they are right now. Yeah, we can't both Psychic Frog and stop Barrowgoyf. They could also play something from hand and throw it. I think we need to go for the throat. Sadly. Is that true? I can't see how I would win if because I'm never going to have another blue source. They're just going to redeploy their Blood Moon. And they're not a bad player that's going to, fail to kill my Psychic Frog. This would have to become a 5/6. They would have to throw everything basically at this. Or they could throw a Blood Moon and I could make it tough enough. Yeah, I think they're probably going to throw the Barrowgoyf here. I think I am going to play the frog. Yeah. It's possible they draw something that causes them to prioritize. It gives me another turn. But I'm almost certain that they're going to figure out a way to stop this. So 5 mana. Oh no, they still have 2 floating. I'm so dumb. I didn't see that they had 2 floating. I was like, whoa, am I going to actually be able to daze it? No, I'm not going to be able to daze it. That's dumb. And now I would have to pitch my island to make Psychic Frog big enough to survive. It's worth noting that had I blocked here, I could have absorbed damage, but they would have almost certainly just thrown something in response to one of the pluses, and I would be without a hand, still facing down the same 2 creatures. So it's annoying that it doesn't show me how much damage this is, but it's 6. It's 2+. Yeah, so this is dead. We are very rapidly running out of things we can draw. I mean, it's crazy that I'm just getting like soloed by this Blood Moon, but that's how it works sometimes. I have very few cards in my deck that cost double blue. If I just randomly draw a swamp, I'm back in this, so I'm not going to concede, but it's definitely dire here. Especially because if they just Fury, I think they can kill me this turn. It would be 7 + 2. No, they're going to need another turn to Fury me out. Chromox, they could throw that. The next turn, they're going to be able to do 7 exactly. So we're dead next turn. And actually, I don't even think there's anything we can do to stop them from killing us. I'm going to any order this. And if I draw my swamp, I will be able to go for the throat. I didn't. All right. Yeah. Missing lethal. Very embarrassing. Okay. So I think we decided that this is a good card here. Considering they're playing Magus of the Moon, I think this is a good card. Force definitely comes in. I think this comes in. Our Hydroblast come in. I think it's a question of how many consigns we can bring in. It's definitely good. Let's take a look at their list. Are they playing the One Ring? They are. They're playing 4 One Ring. So I'm going to assume that this is their list. I've seen nothing to the contrary. They're probably bringing in... Okay, so they're probably bringing in a lot of blasts. That does make me think that Tamiyo's pretty bad here. Tamiyo was not great there. Like, she didn't really do anything except create a couple clues. So we can take out the dazes. We're on the play, though. Daze is, something we can do. We'll take these out. I think we could probably take out 2 dazes. Oh, wait. On the play, I want to keep Thoughtseize in. Are there any other changes I need to make? We are pretty creature light here. But I think, a Necrogoyf or a Nethergoyf could potentially be strong enough. I mean, I'm tempted to bring in Barrowgoyf. Barrowgoyf seems like it'd be really good against their deck, assuming we can get to it. With the number of blasts they're bringing in, I definitely don't think Murktide is good. And that's the card we can't cast under Blood Moon. Yeah, I think we do that. We're down to 12 creatures, which is pretty low density. But these weren't really creatures in that sense. They were just kind of like, yeah, I think we do this. This is a pretty dramatic sideboarding. Like we brought in 11 cards. We're just going to have to hope that Nethergoyf, that somehow they don't draw one of their 6 red blasts from a second frog. This is a great hand. I'm snap keeping this. I'm going to go get a swamp, and then I'm going to Thoughtseize. And then next turn, I'm going to go get an island. And then we'll have our colors online. We'll be able to cast literally every card in our deck, except for the flip side of Brazen Borrower. And then we won't even really need to worry. So if we look at their hand and they don't have a path to a turn 1 Blood Moon, we may not even need to go for it. We may be able to take something else, like a Fable. And it's worth noting that they do have a card in their deck that can destroy even basic lands. It's kind of insane that they printed like a Stone Rain that's playable. But they did. Okay. Ancient Tomb, Simian Spirit Guide, Dead Gone is worth noting. But I'm going to take the Blood Moon because I don't want to get Blood Moon turn 1. All right. They're down to 5 cards. Next turn, I'm almost certainly just going to go get my island and then play out my Nethergoyf and maybe Ponder. I think Ponder is correct. That's fine. So now I can Ponder and actively avoid drawing forces. Force effects aren't that important at this point since we've gotten through the first turn. That's a good pickup, but it's not worth me waiting. Dagon does 2 damage, I believe. Yeah, I'm just going to play this out, and I'll hold up Brainstorm, and then if they attempt to Dagon it, I can... Or dead it? No, they're not going to dead it now. See. What was the other... Do they have Shatter Skull Smashing? Let's see. Deals X damage as you to up to 2. So this costs red X. So they would need 5 mana to kill my thing. I think I'm going to go ahead and Ponder. I mean, these aren't terrible. I can bounce something and I can cast... I think we can do better. All right, we definitely did better. So this is 3 toughness. I mean, they could have Bolt. They could... I guess they could go Ancient Tomb and then Exile and then... Yeah, that's fine. I don't care at this point. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I think I discard this just to have an instant in the graveyard. Now I'll attack for 3. I don't think there's any reason to play these lands out. I'm almost certainly just going to pitch them to Frog. They're already down to 12, which is great. Their Ancient Tomb is no longer dealing damage, but it's only tapping for 1. Fury would be annoying. Fury, it wouldn't be that annoying because I could put a Psychic Frog into the graveyard and buff my Nethergoyf further. But I'd rather have a second Nethergoyf in play than a slightly buffer Nethergoyf. Or a second Frog in play. So it looks like they're blasting me. But I'm getting like some weird... Main menu is not responding. Okay, that's annoying. Just wait for the program to respond, please. Okay, there's the Pyroblast. Right. So it's worth noting that they still have Dagon in hand. They have not used... Okay, Shatter Skull Smashing is out. Okay, Vexing Bulb is out. So they have these 2 cards plus 1 more. And them killing Psychic Frog buffed it. I'll go ahead and play this out first. Let's hit for 4. We've got a pretty strong clock here. But we should never be overconfident. Our opponent is an extremely skilled Moon Stompy player. We have them dead on board, assuming they don't have any... But they do have instant speed interaction, so it's not really. But if they tap out to like do something... I think they are smart enough to know that we can just pitch our hand. Drawing a card, which is a great sign. That's a cool looking mountain. It's like a Mount Fuji looking. Fury. I don't really care about them using Dagon here. I'm fine with pitching these cards. I'd rather them use a second card. To exile to Fury What did they pitch? They pitched Tamiyo and Spirit Guide. So this is going to get them to Hellbent. And then they're going to have to use Dead Gone to bounce this back to our hand. And then we can recast it. Unless they have some further tricks. Gone costs 3. Maybe they'll just dead it after we pitch these. Doesn't really matter that much. I'd much rather them... I mean, they're using 3 cards to kill one of our cards. But technically we pitched a bunch of useless cards. That's fine. Yep. All right. And they have 1 card in hand, which is unknown, I believe. Not sure what we could rip here that would be good, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. None of these are good, so we kind of dodged a bullet there. Engineered Explosives is good. I'm going to hold it. There was no reason for me to hold it. What I can do is if for some reason I need to, I can play it out and crack it next turn, but there's no benefit to playing it out right now. I don't think it's 0. We're not going to be able to get it up to 3 to stop the Blood Moon. But it can make this a 4-5 or a 5-6 if we need to do that somehow. They can throw a Blood Moon at it. That's probably what they're going to have to do. I don't think... Oh, they're going to chump. That is fine with me. That's a weird play. I'm trying to think of what they could possibly have going on. Because they could have attacked and thrown Blood Moon at it. Like, what's so important that you're willing to chump here rather than die? I guess they really want to keep Blood Moon out. Like, that's the only explanation I can think of. I mean, it does give them mana because they can't tap this really. Okay, they drew a land. Send me Spirit Guide for another round of chumping. It's fine. Just going to keep attacking. Now we got Force Up. I'm feeling pretty good for this game. But now we have to win on the draw. Okay. They opted to not bother blocking for some reason. Okay. All right, we've got 11 minutes, which I think is enough. I'm just like super duper careful in this match because no matter how careful I am, I seem to still make misplays like missing lethal there, which I'm going to continue to beat myself up. All right, so Daze is definitely coming out. Daze is terrible here. I think Tamiyo is probably better than Murktide just because it's like, well, okay, Murktide is better in the sense that, no, is it? I mean, Tamiyo baits a force either way. Murktide is just practically impossible to cast, whereas Tamiyo can actually be cast. I think I'm going to bring in 1 Tamiyo and I'm going to bring in Toxic Deluge because this is a card that we can draw it and we can potentially just X for 1. They do have a lot of creatures in their deck. This is also something that like gets us out under. Yeah, I think we keep that. I think I'm really excited about potentially having Barrowgoyf in during this matchup. Maybe that's wrong, but it feels like the lifelink ability plus the ability to keep getting cards out of your graveyard and it's seeing both graveyards. It feels like it dodges a lot of hate. So our opening hand is going to have basics or it's going to have force. There's no other way around it. You don't keep a like this is a trap hand. You don't keep this. This is also a trap hand. They began with 7. I'm just going to keep going. This is a keep. I'm going to keep and I'm going to put Thoughtseize. I don't really want to put one of my Nethergoyfs on the bottom, but I think I do because I need to have Hydroblast up to remove something problematic. Nethergoyf's not going to be big. I don't want to go all in on Nethergoyf. We don't really have a way to make it bigger. Okay, no turn 1 play. That's great. That's phenomenal. I'm going to pass. There's no reason to play out Nethergoyf right now. We're going to ignore Baubles. If this is a Blood Moon, I will counter it. I will counter a Fable. The question is, will I counter it with a Force of Will or will I counter it with a Hydroblast? I think the answer, because what they could be doing is they're pretty smart. They could be like, okay, I'll play this. I think the answer is to force this because we can definitely force it. Because they may very well play a Vexing Bauble and then Blood Moon next turn. All right. I like the idea of playing out Nethergoyf this turn and keeping Hydroblast up. And then next turn, potentially Psychic Frogging. Because there's just so many dangerous things I could do here. I don't want to just play Psychic Frog and then they're like, blast, now I'm in a Blood Moon. So I'll go get my island here. I wouldn't be surprised if they did have Pyroblast and they were going to Pyroblast my Hydroblast. That is definitely something they could do here. I think I'm just going to be patient. It might be correct to go ahead and attempt to hit it. The other thing I could do is just go ahead and ponder here. But that does leave me naked. It does increase Nethergoyf's power and toughness. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt up Hydroblast here. And they're probably going to Pyro. Yep, that's exactly as I feared. So now I can attack. Next turn, I can ponder, but I'm like sitting duck, basically. So yeah, this is being on the draw. If we were on the play, we would have been able to Thoughtseize. I think Thoughtseize one of the 2 cards I put back? Yeah, this is a big card. Broadside. Yeah, let's see if they have something they're going to throw. They could play out a Mox. They can really throw anything at Nethergoyf and kill him. Oh, wow. That's a gift. We're still kind of pod racing. I want to find a swamp here. Another Hydroblast is good for next turn. I mean, all these cards are fine. Nethergoyf doesn't do anything. Definitely not shuffling that. I'm going to attack. We've got a lot of work to do. If we're able to successfully Pyro Blood Moon, then we can cast Psychic Frog. I am worried though, because Psychic Frog is actually really fragile with Broadside. So I think I misstacked my cards there. Because, well, no, what I can do is I can Pyro the Blood Moon, then I can Ponder, which is what I'm going to draw, and then I can play the Nethergoyf. I'm just glad they don't have like random stuff that they're able to play. Like if they play like a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, that's going to be absolutely backbreaking because they're going to get so much stuff they can throw at me. They have to have something. They have 1 ring mana now. Another Blood Moon would also be devastating. Yep, and that's what they have. Right, so we're no longer going to use this Hydroblast. I mean, the best thing to use the Hydroblast on is probably the Broadside Bombardiers. But I kind of want to wait. It can't throw itself, right? It's like another creature or artifact. Oh, and they can't throw the Blood Moon. I keep forgetting that. Yeah, Blood Moon cannot be thrown. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Before they go to combat, let's see, begin combat, I think I don't want to attempt. I mean, they could have just drawn a blast, so it may be a foolhardy to give them that chance. And if they do have like a Fury, like Nethergoyf is just dead. If they attempt a Fury, though, I will blast that. I think I let them hit me. And then if they put something that they can throw on the stack, I can Hydroblast it then. But I want a little more information. Nothing. All right, well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and use the other blast. Okay, that worked. Now we've got Ponder. I'm going to go ahead and use Ponder now. Any order shuffle. Let's find the swamp. We did not find the swamp. I'm going to go ahead and attack. And we're just going to have to see if we can somehow get 3 attacks in. Or if we can find our swamp. I'm not going to play cards out of my hand because if I can somehow get Psychic Frog into play, I want him to be huge. We've just been supremely lucky. I don't know if we're going to be able to win this, but like I do feel like maybe I haven't played the Titus. I don't know. That's fine. That's great news. That's a great pickup. Still not reason to play out cards. This can Fury triggers. It can do all kinds of stuff. Man, Nethergoyf is such a good card. 1 mana. Okay. They have 2 mana up. 3 mana up. Interesting. So they must have something in hand. Why would they play that out? Because they could have used this to blow up. But actually, if they used it to blow up my island, that would be a gift. Because I'd be able to go get my swamp. I'm trying to think of a situation in which being able to replicate twice would matter. And I can't think of one. Just a very minor optimization, keeping all the cards and not playing at the land. But, I mean, I could very much get somehow destroyed because of it. That card's freaking huge. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have to consign the trigger. Yeah, they could only have one Pyroblast here. All right, so now they have successfully like kept us at bay. If we draw something like Brazen Borrower, that would be good. Toxic Deluge, not going to do it. We just have to chill. They have to hit us twice. We only have to hit them once. But we are totally naked here. They have something. Another Barrowgoyf. The One Ring. That's pretty good. That does make it so that they can attack us. I hope they tap it. All right, I'll take it. Yeah, if they don't tap it, they don't have any need to tap it. All they needed was one turn. And they have exactly the right power and toughness. And we drew a force just in the not nick of time. Yeah, this has been an insane close match for sure. Trying to think. So we have to chump here. We don't have anything that can kill that. Yeah, we just had to take it. Take our medicine and block. I think the only draw in our deck that can save us here is a swamp. A Brazen Borrower can buy us a turn, but that's not going to do much. Good games. Yeah, good games. Seriously. My goodness. Yeah, I think obviously if I hadn't missed lethal, there wouldn't have been a game 3. I do feel like this is a favorable matchup though. And I'm having difficulty putting my finger on anything that I necessarily did wrong. I'd welcome any feedback if other than that punt with, returning a card from Tamiyo that I've mentioned like 6 times. If you have any other feedback for me, because this felt great. It felt great to open island. It felt great to have the blast. I hope I used the blasts on the right things. Double Blood Moon was pretty brutal. My opponent played flawlessly as far as I could tell from my side. I didn't see anything that they did where they missed something. Yeah. I'll see you in round 4. Round 4, we are likely against another Stompy player. This does not have basics. It does not have force. I'm going to mold this. This has force. This has the ability to go get a basic. This also has Thoughtseize, which is pretty good. We can't get the kind of basic we want, but I'm going to keep it. I'm going to put back... I think we put back Fatal Push. Because if we get a chance, we can Thoughtseize something good out of their hand. If they don't turn 1 us. Okay, it's a different deck. That's good news. So they are likely, if they're not on Moon Stompy, which is what they've been playing most recently, they're probably back on Sneak and Show. So Thoughtseize is quite good, and Fatal Push, yeah, that was a very auspicious thing to put back. All right, so they didn't shuffle off Ponder. Oh, that is an insane rip. My goodness, if they are on Show and Tell, this is like the absolute nuts. All right, let's see what they have. Okay, so they're on tempo actually, but still pretty good. I think we take Psychic Frog. Yeah, it's just the best card. And then Baleful Strix is a pain, but we can get through it. I mean, like, I wouldn't mind, if absolutely necessary, just crashing my Goyf into that. They're going to probably get a swamp here, which is unfortunate since we have the wasteland. Okay. They have a force, so they can force back. I think we're better off just holding our brainstorm and trying to find removal. We might be able to brainstorm into removal plus. Let's see how big. So our Nethergoyf will be a 2/3. It's not going to be able to fight in combat. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to brainstorm. I'm going to try to find a black source so that I can drop the Nethergoyf. Nethergoyf will be a 3/4. They'll have to drop a lot of cards and they'll almost certainly want to just fly over it. Daze, not the greatest. They may have a daze of their own. I still think it's better to go ahead and brainstorm here. Okay, we found Fatal Push and we found a land. This is amazing. I'm going to put this back. I don't want this at all, I don't think. Don't really think I need force. I'm going to hope to push and then have double daze. And they could absolutely lock me out somehow if they rip like... I don't think they're likely playing... what's it called? I don't think they're likely playing main deck Harbingers. So I think Fatal Push, and then we're going to be able to daze. Okay, that just happened. That's great. So if they attempt to Strix here, I will absolutely daze that. Wow, they're just not using those forces. I don't know why they're holding the force. They must assume that we're on something unfair. Psychic Frog of our own. That is almost certainly going to get forced here. So I'm going to just walk them right into my daze. They've got 3 cards left. Maybe it's better to go ahead and just Thoughtseize and then Nethergoyf. Just a little bit more careful. Teferi is potentially extremely annoying. They can't immediately cast it. I don't even really care that they cast it. They're not going to force my Nethergoyf. Yeah, I'm just going to take the Teferi because it's the unique card. Next turn I can Nethergoyf. But I didn't want to walk into like an easy removal spell. I should have played the Psychic Frog first because it'll make the Nethergoyf bigger when they counter it. And they're almost certainly going to force it. Yeah, that was misplay. I could have gotten up some extra damage. I'm going to do it. This makes it bigger, and also if they kill the Nethergoyf as a card I can use to escape. All right. They are playing Jeskai, so they are going to need to eventually get non-basics. They have 1 card left in hand after this. Don't be Plow. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. So we're both basically in the same boat now, even after all that maneuvering. Well, yeah, Plow was the 1 card. I think Jeskai is, or not Jeskai, I think Esper is favored in this matchup. Let's see if I can find another Nethergoyf. That would be good. I'm going to shuffle this. Yeah, I think it's correct to shuffle this. If I find a Brainstorm, that's really good. I'm going to go ahead and play this out because I doubt they have any more basics in their deck, and it does kind of help me keep my dazes live. Now I have double daze up without having to return both lands. I can just return 1. That's fine. All right, unfortunately, they're not multi-spelling here, so daze is getting weaker with each passing turn. I really need a Brainstorm. All right, I'm going to play this. Don't need another wasteland. Yeah, we had such a strong opening. I feel like maybe I threw it by casting, but I was just like, let's get him hellbent. I think that was overly aggressive. Because, yeah, I might have been able to figure out a situation like let them put Teferi on the stack, then daze that, take one of the forces, and then they don't necessarily have a blue card. They would have had Plow, which is not a blue card. So, I mean, it was probably dead either way. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait. I do want to waste them off of that. Okay, that is a redraw. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I don't think their graveyard matters particularly. But just in case it does, sure, why not? This is an artifact from my graveyard. I should have paid with the wasteland. No, I'm going to use the wasteland most likely. But if I draw a frog here, okay, I drew another bad card. I'm not going to wait because they're hellbent. I'll just hit this to minimize them being able to get value. I could have played out that land, but I'm hopeful that I won't have to. I don't think that they're going to have any sort of non-basic hate in their deck if they're playing 4 colors. I'd love for them to try to slam like a Jace or something super ambitious. I'm worried that they are going to have some good mid-range cards that my cards don't line up against very well. Yeah, I'm just going to hold this for Brainstorm equity. They have probably a reactive spell in hand, like a Force of Will. They might have like a Lorien Revealed or something that they're just waiting to draw another card. Strix is irritating. I'm going to hold off because I'll feel really dumb if they draw a frog. This Strix doesn't mean anything while I don't have anything to attack in with. Tamiyo's great. I think it's highly likely that they have some sort of interaction here. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this out. My reasoning is now I have the ability to end step double, go for the throat through daze. And I'm going to, let's say, Okay. So my daze resolves. Now I'm going to daze again. I'll just bring this back. It's important to stop that card for sure. I'm going to hold go for the throat. I'm just going to kill this. I am going to go ahead and surveil. That is precisely the kind of card we want to draw. I'm going to attack. I'll just keep cards up. I can, well, I mean, it would really suck if they did have like a Bowmasters in their deck. I'm going to wait. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be absolutely devastating. Like, they're not going to be able to kill my Tamiyo just off one draw. Yeah, I already know my top card. I'm just going to let this resolve. All right, I'm going to draw. Okay. Now I'm going to attack. We'll see if they want to pitch 2 cards to try to knock it out of the air. 1 card. 2 cards. They are hellbent. Just going to go ahead and kill it. That'll probably get them to scoop. Okay. They could have some sort of sweeper, but I think it's fine. I need to keep the pressure up because, again, they have a better late game than I do. 5-6 Nethergoyf. You love to see it. Another Narset. It's going to dig for a plow. They found it. That sucks. But we do have Tamiyo flip next turn. No, we can't draw extra cards. Oh no, this is a disaster. Yeah, that was a really timely card from them. I'm just going to attack. I'll make the clue. I can draw a card next turn with the clue. So we still have our Howling Mine. We just have to use it in a special way. They've revealed Brainstorm. I think it's worth stopping that. Just gives them a lot of options. I'll get the basic here. So I haven't seen any Wastelands. I presume they probably don't play Daze here. I'm not sure what's in their hand. Maybe like a Force of Will or something. That is unfortunate. We're going to attack with Tamiyo. Yeah, I mean, Narset's such a good card. I can only stop her once. But here, if we crack a clue and draw into like a force, that's good. Wow, I don't know what their last card is. Okay, wow, they conceded. That is surprising because like they have to have better top decks than me. I'm not even sure what I was going to draw. Okay. So I think Barrowgoyf is going to be really good here. I think we just cut the dazes. We could cut maybe all the dazes and the wastelands. Like maybe 1 wasteland. Because they're not going after our land at all. I like this. Oh, Toxic Deluge might be good. Yeah, because this will potentially wipe several things. Do I like Brazen Borrower? I mean, it is an answer. I kind of like Force of Negation because they have a lot of non-creature spells in their deck. We don't need the graveyard cards at all. So we can get rid of these and maybe move some of the dazes back in. But Daze is not going to be exceptional here. Thoughtseize was really good. I'm going to keep that in even on the draw. Yeah, I feel like a Brazen Borrower is good potential value. I feel like Engineered Explosives is a way to deal with like sideboard cards. We're not going to be able to deal with... Yeah, so like I would probably board like that, and we need to bring in 1 more card. I think we just bring in 1 daze, just to keep them honest. This feels pretty good. I mean, it's very clearly just like attrition. Like they're playing good, honest to goodness kind of control. Like no tempo aspect. I would probably rather have a Wasteland than a Daze, especially since I brought in Nethergoyf, but it's not letting me change. Yeah, that was probably a bad substitution. This feels good. We got our basics in case they have like back to basics. I like Tamiyo. I'm going to keep this. We don't have an answer to turn 1 frog, or there won't be a turn 1 frog, but like we don't have a good answer to a turn 1 Tamiyo. They may not be playing it. I think we make them have removal. I'm going to go get an island. I should have probably fetched with the Scalding Tarn. Yeah, I'm just going to assume they've got like back to basics or something because they're playing a lot of basics. We're just surveilling. All right. And again, I'd much rather them plow this than plow my Nethergoyf. There's the plow. Oh, prismatic ending. Yeah, that's a good card. I think I'm just going to daze this. I think it's unlikely that they have a daze of their own. These are the days of our lives. I've got so many freaking lands. I really need to find a brainstorm. I'm going to look for one. This is all gas. But I don't really want... I mean, I want all these cards. The force negation is probably the least important. I'm going to put Borrower in hand in case they rip some sort of... or in case they play like Thoughtseize or something. I should probably have put the force negation. I'm going to be so sad if they have like a Narset here. Yeah, actually, I'll shuffle away the force negation. I don't think it's good enough. I do think that I'm going to go ahead and stick the frog and just make them have it. Because if they don't, like, it's so good. We still have Surveil Land that we can get with this Scalding Tarn. I'd rather hold this until I get a Brainstorm, though. Okay, it resolves. So the bad news is they've got probably 2 to 3 prismatic endings in their deck, and they've definitely got 4 plows. As expected, but you have to kind of like try. I'm not going to wait around. It's not going to get any better if we wait. That Ponder is great. Are they going to let us go to our draw step? Are they going to try to Surgical? That would suck if they Surgical Ponder. I mean, that would be a really crappy play, but it would work out for them well, right? If they did that there. This is where you get punished for not playing at your thing, but it is still a 1-1. It's not like a 1-for-1. It's not like a huge blow. I probably should have played at the Underground Sea there and held this just with hopes of finding a Brainstorm. Because Brainstorm is Ancestral Recall at this point. I am not going to... I mean, the odds of me finding a Brainstorm are 4 in 46. So, like 1 in 12 maybe. Toxic Deluge seems like a great card. It's like a multi-turn line. They have 1 threat. I'm just going to wait until they have a 2nd threat, and then I'll attempt to use it, but I am going to just put it in my hand. That's kind of like how we break parity, is we get card advantage. They've already gotten card advantage with what they've done here, but this is not going to win them the game. They're going to have to play extra cards. And now in the post-board game, we are drawing to Barrowgoyfs and better creatures. We also have the potential of ripping like a Murktide, which could very abruptly end the game. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Toxic Deluge. Yeah, I'm just going to Deluge now. And my life total is a resource. I'll just, see, they could make it up to 6. I'll be sad if they force, and I paid 6 life, because I'll probably die. But I think the upside potential is worth it. Now that they've shown me that they're playing Spell Pierce, I don't feel terrible about deploying this. Toxic Deluge, and we're going to pay. So they have the potential of making it a 5/6, so we will pay 6. I don't think there's any commonly played card that can punish us. And now I have the ability to Brazen Borrower and Instep or force, as an emergency. The only cards I'd likely force would be maybe a Teferi. I don't think I'd force a Teferi, but I would force a Narset. Another Strix. Well, I'm not going to force that, and I'm certainly not going to borrow it. Yeah, this is a great value card. It's very strong against the meta. If we somehow flip a Tamiyo, we could get that back, but I feel so far behind. I feel like we're almost certainly going to lose this. They still have 4 cards in hand, too. Barrowgoyf would be good. Psychic Frog, I'm going to play it. I can potentially force... bounce Baleful Strix and force it on the way back down if absolutely necessary. If I draw a blue card. Teferi. I don't like Teferi here. I think what I have to do is probably just play out Brazen Borrower, but there's a chance that they have Plow, and this just guarantees that they're able to successfully Plow. The other thing is, they're almost certainly going to bounce Frog. I don't like forcing here. Well, it denies them a card. I guess I'm going to do it. It's just too strong. And now I'm just like naked to removal on my Frog. Yeah. All right. So that sucked. I'm definitely bringing the dazes back in. I'll definitely bring the wasteland back in. We saw lots of non-basics that time. It might be worth bringing the... I mean, if they're not going to respect, it might be worth having Harbinger, but I don't think so. Could Harbinger... Would they get caught in a situation where they didn't have white? That would be pretty good for us. I think Force Negation's got to go. It felt really bad there. Let's say we do bring these back in, and we do bring our wastelands in, and maybe we cut some forces. They don't have any must-stop cards, really. Like, I mean, you could argue that Tamiyo... Yeah, I think we could take that out. That just doesn't feel good. Toxic Deluge wasn't bad at all. Dismember doesn't really hit anything profitably. Consigned to, it's not colorless. Even though Strix's artifact is not a colorless spell. Yeah, I don't see really anything. I think the tempo plan is better. I do like having Dismember. I think we just go like this. They're going to have much more removal. We have to overload their removal. They've got like 7 exile-based removal spells. This is a strong player. I've played against them several times. I mean, this is a removal-heavy hand. It has Brainstorm. It has a Wasteland. I think we keep this even though it's not the most proactive because what we can do is we can sculpt for a turn. And I don't want to go down on cards. Like, this is very much like a you don't want to mull type setup matchup where every card is going to count. But I like this. I mean, this is like fun, interactive Magic where there's like a back and forth and you can feel somebody's advantage bar swinging a little bit, but it's not just like, oh, I just resolved Atraxa. It's like, oh, okay, I just got a 2-for-1 from Baleful Strix. Or, oh, I just, was able to get a Teferi in play or a Narset in play. Like, I like that kind of Magic a lot better than the crazy, combo Magic that mostly dominates leagues. Okay, so we're back and forth pinging each other to make sure that we're both connected. I'm waiting for them. But unfortunately, there could be situations where it looks like you're waiting for them, but it's actually your clock ticking down because you've like disconnected. That's the worst. I'm just going to stick this and I'll pass. I haven't seen a single Bowmasters from them, which what they may have done is taken out Bowmasters to make room for Strix. All right. I'm going to attempt to get a perfect Brainstorm here. They could Spell Pierce it, which would suck. It is worth doing this because if I find another Nethergoyf, I'm going to want to deploy it. Yeah, this is a little too much. Actually, I think I'm going to put both of these back because I can potentially use that basic swamp. So I can get a Surveil land if they don't do anything here. I don't think it's worth trying to ponder here. I'm going to wait an extra turn. Okay, so the basic island, ponder, is fine. I think I'm going to Surveil. This does mean that I'm not going to be able to get a basic island anymore. Well, I wasn't going to be able to get... Well, yeah, I guess I could get a basic island here, but I think it's more valuable to Surveil. And it will suck if they back to basics me. That is a great card. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to protect it, so we're just putting it out there naked. I don't think there's really any value in playing the Verdant Catacombs here when I'm going to almost certainly use both of these. I'd like to preserve the shuffle effect for later. There's no way that I'm going to be able... Well, okay, so maybe if they get greedy and they try, I might be able to find a daze. Because I don't suspect they're playing any dazes. I could Thoughtseize them, and then... yeah, I think it's fine to Thoughtseize here, and then shuffle, and just wait. Because if I can remove their removal, that's pretty good. If they Spell Pierce, that's fine with me. Holy cow, they've got a ton of juice in their hand. They've got their own Psychic Frog. They have a Swamp. They have the ability to play completely on basics. Yeah, this is really bad. Next turn, Teferi's coming down. We can't stop that. Sadly, I think we have to go with Teferi here. Because we can deal with the other stuff. But Teferi is just backbreaking. So them being able to play on basics when I can't fetch my basics is frustrating. This is fine. I'm definitely glad that I did keep that Thoughtseize because Frog would not have had a chance. Let's see. Let's take a look at their hand. So they had Strix, they have Psychic Frog, and they've got, was it Double Force? They had 6 cards in hand and they drew a card. They played out the Swamp. Yeah, so they played that and they drew another card. So I could push this and then that clears away, but I still need to deal with prismatic ending. So I think the correct play is just chill, because it'll be much more important that I can remove 2 frogs in a row if I need to. There's a force effect. I'm just going to play the swamp here. Am I going to play the swamp? Maybe I don't even play the swamp. I keep it as a surprise. Yeah, I can't deploy frog until I have some sort of means to protect it. I'd much rather pitch frog to stop like a Narset or something here. Okay, now they have so much mana. This sucks. Yeah, I think our only bet is finding the Toxic Deluge. We're just going to get chipped away at. If we have the ability to immediately flip a Tamiyo at instant speed, but prismatic ending will deal with that too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm here. Am I? Yes, they have force of will, so forcing is not going to work here. I think I just need to overload them. So I think this is past its prime. We need this to shuffle. I'll just go get like an island or swamp here. I can play this out. I could go ahead and get an island now. Maybe I get a swamp here, because there is the possibility that they play the Merfolk. That would be more devastating. Now I'm going to attempt to ponder. Toxic Deluge is what we're looking for. Barrowgoyf is sweet, but I don't want these lands, so I'm going to shuffle. Daze is a terrible pickup. Yeah, I can't help but feel like this is very over. The good news is, like, I'm just surprised they haven't deployed the frog yet. Maybe they just don't have to. They don't have to do anything. They can just attack us each turn with these Strixes. Yeah, I don't think Teferi is good enough, frankly. But, I mean, certainly when the game goes long like this, Teferi is good. I don't think Teferi is great in control decks right now. What I'm hoping is they go ahead and get impatient and play with the Psychic Frogs, and one of the Psychic Frogs, and then I can use removal and get them to use a force as well. Okay, they are moving. That is going to be a force. And I'll just pitch Daze. I think Daze is just not good enough yet right now. They're going to force back. So, oh, they didn't force? I'm amazed that they didn't protect that. That's a really good card. Okay, but they do have 6 cards in hand, so it was a 2-for-1. Yeah, this wasteland sucks. Yeah, I mean, like, what do you want me to do? Psychic Frog's not going to do anything. That, like, all the things that I want to bounce with, like, this is actually really bad. I shouldn't have boarded this in, because pretty much everything in their deck, like, creates value on enter. Yeah, I'm just going to take this. Yeah, I'm dropping pretty low. I'm going to go ahead and do this instep. They do have force negation up, so they're not protecting it. Tamiyo. Maybe they do something with Tamiyo out. I just want to get this force of this prismatic ending out of their house, out of their hand. Can I target spell with toughness? Yeah, that works. I think now I'm going to go just play the frog, because I am running out of time. And I know they're going to PE it, and that's okay with me. I do want to waste their Tundra here, just to restrict their options a little bit, in case they draw, like, I don't know what they would have 2 white, like maybe Wandering Emperor. Yeah, here's the PE. Yep, and we're dropping to 7. Their own Tamiyo, which is fine. I can bounce it if it flips. I probably will go for the Throat It, just because it's going to start creating clues, and those clues are almost as dangerous as the Nethergoyf. Yeah, Nethergoyf is important. I'm going to cast... Oh, I should have go for the Throat first, just in case they do have Spell Pierce. That would make sense to have Spell Pierce up, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it now, because it's devastating. Yeah, like, if they Spell Pierce, I'll just concede. If they've been disciplinedly holding a Brainstorm all this time, I'll be very impressed. Looks like it worked. So now they can only attack with 1 if they want to keep my Nethergoyf back. Okay, I'm glad they're drawing land here. Oh wow, they're just attacking with both. That's bold. Maybe they have another one. Okay. Well, I'm going to attempt to attack. They're not racing me. I have a dismember if they have like some sort of flash threat. They may have a brazen borrower here. That would make sense. I will pay to dismember, sadly. Actually, maybe it's better to take it and then... I think this is okay. I can't do anything about it. Yeah, I'm just going to let it happen. Found a brainstorm. I think we take this, then we flash in borrower, then we attack Narset and we attack them. And then we have dismember for next turn. We're so low in life. They have brainstorm. Oh, they can't cast brainstorm right now. So their hand is brainstorm. Oh, force. That's good. I'm glad they're respecting us. Well, I am going to have to kill Narset here. I can't let her activate again. Psychic Frog is great. I can't both kill a Baleful Strix and play a Psychic Frog. I'm going to attack Narset first. Yeah, it's a losing proposition to... do they have a plow? Wow, Narset down. Sadly, I think we have to wait a turn. I'm just going to do this now. While they likely don't have interaction, it really hurts to do that. Toxic Deluge is no longer on. So they've successfully converted the 2-for-1 here. Next turn, we will have... they can only hit us... I mean, they shouldn't attack. Maybe they do attack. They've got brainstorm. They can find removal. They are attacking before they even brainstorm. That's very confident. It's fine. Yeah, so they have double cantrip. So I can't imagine this Nethergoyf is going to stick. Barrowgoyf is sick. I'm going to go ahead and attack with Nethergoyf, and hopefully they're going to do something about it. No? All right, Barrowgoyf. Earn your keep. You cost me $20. Please don't just get forced. Yeah, it's getting forced. Okay, so now what I have to do is next turn, I'm going to have to actually jump the frog in front of this Strix. So sad. What did they pitch to force? I haven't even been checking what they pitched to force. They pitched their brainstorm. So we have no idea what the composition of their hand is. All right, we got 1 life left. But luckily they don't seem to play Bowmasters. I'd love to see their list. I'm just going to go ahead and attack. Actually... yeah, I probably should have played Psychic Frog first just so I get the damage, but it doesn't matter. Because if Psychic Frog is unable to block, we are dead. If they have like a removal spell, it's a death spell for us. I'm actually at this point... okay, what is this? Oh, the hard gas force. Yeah, good games. I forgot they had 5 open mana. Yeah, just like any number of things. Let's draw a card. If it lets us, if MTGO actually lets us draw a card for once, it never lets me draw cards. Okay, we would have drawn a force, which, not the greatest. Yeah, eventually. Yeah, we weren't going to get out of that. It's strong. Those were good games, though. I'm not salty at all when I lose, and it's an exciting match like that with lots of back and forth. So thinking back, I don't think there was really any choice but to jam. Like, it is crazy to get, like, killed by Baleful Strix, but it does happen. Like, I've done it to a lot of people. A lot of people just... it's like... it feels terrible to remove Baleful Strix, and you'll notice that like I did eventually remove them. Had I removed them a turn earlier, that would have potentially won the game. So, but it's difficult to know that at this early on in the game. But I think probably a heuristic going forward is like I'm gonna have to get rid of it somehow. Might as well get rid of it quickly before it does damage. This seems like an insane hand. Let's see what they're likely on. All right. It looks like there's no information about what they're likely on. They play a lot of Jewel Shops and Vintage is all I know. So maybe they're playing Jewel Shops in Legacy, in which case I think opening with a Thoughtseize is totally defensible. The other alternative is we could just open Tamiyo, but that doesn't really do anything. I'm going to assume they're a combo player. Let's see whether they shuffle or whether they mulligan. Sort of with 7 cards. I could get completely blown out, but I am not going to play on basics. I'm not going to play scared. Okay, and I'm glad that I did that. Their hand does absolutely nothing if you take the Faithless Looting, which is what I'm doing. So they're on Dredge, and we are Normally, we always lose game 1 against Dredge, like everybody does. But when you happen to be playing a deck that has 3 main deck Now spell bombs, you don't necessarily lose game 1. All right, I think we ponder for land here, and then we stick another Nethergoyf. That is great. We don't need another Psychic Frog. I mean, like their entire hand hinged on that Faithless Looting, so it feels very good to rip it to shreds. Thoughtseize doing what Thoughtseize does since like 2009 or something, whenever it was printed. So I think I'm going to get the beats flowing. I think that's more important than getting Tamiyo going. Okay, they're fetching. Do they have a force? I'm not sure why they did that. Weird vintage player timing. They found it. Well, this is bad. They're going to have a dredger now. They've got so much chaff in their hand, too. But if they can get it, I mean, they've got Cephalid Coliseum, so okay, that's new information. Otherworldly Gaze, so they're going to be able to get even more cards in their graveyard. They're very close to being able to activate Coliseum, which will be backbreaking. So we basically need to find a Nile Spellbomb stat. That's good. It's not great. It actually doesn't do anything to stop Cephalid Coliseum, but it will stop like a flashback spell. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put this into play. Now I'm going to discard this. I'm going to discard this. I mean, Nethergoyf is bigger, and I'm going to start just going on the offensive and hoping to somehow race them. Next turn, I'll be able to hit for 7. So they've got basically a 2-turn clock. I mean, and that assumes that I force something that they do here. Their hand doesn't matter. I think it's just, do they discard any Narcomoebas? Wait a second. Did they not dredge? Well, I am going to stop this because this is absolutely devastating. And now they have to use the Coliseum, which is still a good. I mean, they're going to be able to dredge a ton, but they're not going to be able to dredge like their entire deck. Okay, and here's the Coliseum activation. So dredge, dredge, dredge. Let's see how many cards they can get in the yard. I bet you they'll have at least 30 cards by the end of the turn. 14, 18, maybe not 30, 20, 23. They don't have any more mana. They didn't hit any... let's see, what did they hit? Okay, I'm going to pop this out here if MTGO cooperates. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay, let's look. They've got 1 dredger, 2 dredger, 3 dredger, 4. They've got so many dredgers. Sator is cool. They've got anger, and they do control a mountain, so their creatures are going to have haste. So, I mean, we've got 2 looks here at a potential... I'm going to pop this back. We've got 2 looks at a potential Nile Spellbomb. 3 in 48 cards. Not the best odds, but a cantrip would also be something we could potentially rip. We have plenty of mana to use. Okay, that doesn't do anything, I don't believe, at all. So I might actually just discard that. I think I am going to discard it. I'm trying to think of what could come into play where like I would miss this. I just want to do damage. Okay, 8. Come on, Nail Spellbomb. Nail Spellbomb. Oh! Well, I do think digging to a Nail Spellbomb, like, I'm not sure if we're going to have another turn. Yeah, it's better than... I don't need to put it on Psychic Frog. I'm just going to do it. And that's going to go in the graveyard. And we are going to F6, basically. There's nothing we can do here. Let's watch the fireworks. Otherworldly Gaze. Because they're spending all their mana. They can dredge once. They don't... Importantly, they don't have Cabal Therapy in their yard. I don't think. Okay, now they have 2 Cabal Therapies, but they don't have anything to flash back with. Okay, they ripped a thought. What? It's my turn? Holy cow. Oh, wow. They just they dudded. Yeah, they had Bridge from Below. I guess the fact that all their Narcomoebas were in hand meant that they didn't get any creatures in play, so they couldn't start the chain. They did have a Bridge from Below. Yeah, we take those. Dredge has like a 90% game 1 win rate. It's like absurd. Okay, so we're going to bring this in, obviously. Toxic Deluge is not the worst. Force Negation is definitely worth bringing in. Hydroblast, they do have red spells. It's better than nothing. I'm I'm trying to think if Consign is good. Consign does stop like a Thassa's trigger. So the individual removal is all bad. We're taking that out. That means we need to make 3 more cuts. Daze is almost like a 1-card Force of Will, like Pact of Negation or something. Oh, Thoughtseize comes out for sure. Thoughtseize is only good on the play. It's not good on the draw. But it was extremely good on the play, as you saw. Took their only action. And then they were lucky and they drew another Graveyard Enabler, but they just as easily could have not done that. Brazen Borrower, I'm trying to think if that does anything here. It gets rid of like a token. I don't think it does anything. I'm going to take it out. Murktide is a little bit slower, but like, I mean, you could definitely argue Barrowgoyf is good here, but I will be amazed if the game lasts long enough for Barrowgoyf to shine. Let's think about this. Yeah, we don't have any way to accelerate it out. I'd rather be using my mana, I want to be using my wastelands aggressively on them because they are playing non-basics. Even though they don't use much mana, and also just keeping their mana low so I can daze stuff more effectively. I like Murktide a lot more. Murktide flying is a big deal. They're always going to have some random pissant creature that can block the Barrowgoyf potentially. The lifelink is relevant, but like the way they win nowadays is they get Satoru into play and they start getting a whole lot of draw triggers, and then they dredge a whole lot, and then they use Thassa. I think we need to get Graveyard Hate. I'm going to mulligan this. Graveyard Hate or Force. This is not good enough either. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to put back Swamp. I don't think basics matter. I'm going to put back... I'll keep Consign. No, I'm not going to keep Consign. I think it's an okay card, but likely we're going to tap out for the first few turns anyway, just using our cantrips and using our Now Spellbomb. So Now Spellbomb is very tricky to use in this matchup. Oh, they have black in their deck. I didn't even think about that. I guess that's so they can cast Cabal Therapy if they draw it. Otherworldly Gaze, fine. Put your Dredger in there. So with Now Spellbomb, I'm genuinely not sure if you're supposed to just like immediately, if you're supposed to, because they do have 2 Dredgers there. And they have the ability to flash this back. I think we just have to immediately use it. Because if they start dredging, like things get really rough really quickly. I mean, that might be their only game plan right there. Because when they start... Oh, they have a Force for this. Well, that's strong. Okay, we probably lost. But we will be on the play in game 3. So they're going to dredge. What? They didn't dredge? What the hell? I've never seen somebody not dredge so often. Okay, that's fine. That gives me another opportunity to go and find... But this is scary. So if we rip another Graveyard Hate spell, I think like... what's it called? It's just game over. Grafdigger's Cage. So let's go ahead and start with a Brainstorm. I do like the Nethergoyf. Is Nethergoyf going to matter? I mean, it's reasonably large. I definitely want to keep the daze. I want to keep the Force. I guess maybe I put back 1 Nethergoyf. And I think I'm going to put back the Murktide. Ponder is also a blue card for Force if I need it. So I'm going to go get a second Underground Sea, and I'm just going to deploy a Nethergoyf. I don't have any surgicals or anything that are like 0 cost, so there's not really a benefit to me pondering here. It's probably better and safer to just keep Ponder as a blue card for Force. They're not quite at... Okay, Careful Study. To me, this is like absolutely a Force. I think it's more important to dig for Graveyard Hate than it is to keep a daze up speculatively. So I'm going to pitch daze. All right. And we got through the turn. Surviving. Staying alive. Okay, we drew the daze anyway. And I apologize. I realize that's like way outside of my range. Just seeing like I'm in the BGs. We need Graveyard Hate. That is a good card. So they can dredge here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it. They can absolutely dredge here, and they absolutely should dredge here. I mean, I can't believe they haven't been dredging. But maybe I just don't understand how their deck works. Okay, they did dredge. Let's take a look at their graveyard. They've got lots of dredgers. They've got a Poxwalkers. They've got Into the Flood Maw. Let's see. Gift a Fish. Return target creature an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Okay, so this is basically like a, I love that crab, like the big spider crab. Looks delicious. Okay, so they don't have any flashback cards. They do have a bridge. But they don't have Cabal Therapy, so I think they're just going to pass this turn. All right. We're going to get in another hug with the Nethergoyf. Please be a graveyard spell. Like a Nile Spellbomb would be great. Yeah, there's nothing we can immediately hit with this, so we'll just chill. I mean, it might be like, I haven't seen an LED or anything. We could stop a Bridge from Below trigger, potentially. We could stop a Poxwalker's trigger. I think that's probably what we need to do is stop Poxwalker's trigger. If they can figure out a way to get some sort of card in their graveyard. Okay, so now they have Thassa's Oracle. They get the Oracle Dread Return combo, but they still have a deck, so that's not too big of a threat. Holy cow, are we getting another turn? This is insane. I don't, like, it's been really weird, like, my luck. Like, I've beaten Dredge, I think, like, the last 4 or 5 times I've played against it, just because they hit their fail rate. Like, just absurd luck and stuff. I don't think playing out Tamiyo really matters here. I wish I had a way to get her in my graveyard, because then if I could get her in my graveyard, then she could buff my Nethergoyf and they'd be, dead on board. I'm trying to think. We could stop multiple triggers. I just don't think Tamiyo is going to do anything here. I'm not convinced. I think it's better to hold her as a potential force. Okay. Careful Study, Bridge from Below, Scalding Tarn, Lands Art. It's definitely Colosseum. Okay, wow. I'm not sure what they're looking for here or why they haven't done anything. What I hope is that they have cards that they can't cast because I've wastelanded them. They have a handful of dredgers. They have 2 life. There's no point in playing out Tamiyo. I have so much interaction if they cast a spell. If they don't cast a spell, if they just have some ability, I'll have to try to stop that ability. I am going to stop that ability. And I'm going to replicate just in case. Because this opens up Cabal Therapy, which opens up Poxwalkers. Same target. So now they can't force that. All right. And that would have been a blocker as well. But like realistically, they just would have... yeah, we did it. Oh, we did it. Yes. All right, positive record. So let's recap. And I expect to get a positive record with this deck. Like, I'm really disappointed when I don't, because this is a very objectively powerful deck. It's not like an extremely difficult to play deck. I mean, you could argue tempo is pretty hard to play, but it's not like playing Esper Battle where you're like constantly having to like look at like triggers and stuff. Let's take a look at the deck again. So it feels great. Like Barrowgoyf didn't really do anything other than die, but like it did draw. I think it like drew a force or some removal the one time I got it on the stack. I'm gonna keep playing it. I mean, that was just 5 matches. The one match. Okay, so we lost one match to Red Stompy, and that was the game that I missed lethal, and I would have won game 1, and then I won game 2, and then we lost game 3. So there wouldn't have been a game 3, and I wouldn't have lost, and I would have won that. So that could have been a 4-1. The other game we lost, I just think that was like an extremely adverse matchup for us. Esper Control. And I've played lots of decks like that. Like, actually, do I have that in here? Esper, no, I don't have it anymore. I deleted it from here. But if you go to my, here, let's go over here. Okay, so this is my Mox field. You can follow me here. I don't care. It's not like this is like, I don't think anybody's like bragging about their Moxfield followers, but that is a function that Moxfield has. And you can see that I've been posting lots of decks here. Here's UB Tempo. I'm not sure why it shows as having green, probably because Tamiyo's in there. But you can see, wait, this doesn't look right. I think I screwed up somehow in 75 main deck. Okay. So the sideboard was not in there. I'll fix this. I'm not going to make you watch me fix this. But basically, if you look here, I played a lot of like what I call Esper Murktide. And here's like the Esper Tempo Murktide. Ooh, it's unlisted. Let's make it listed. Why is it unlisted? I don't know why it's unlisted. All right, so you can see here, it's playing like Murktides instead of Nethergoyfs. So it's kind of similar, but I'm not playing Planeswalkers, and I am still playing Wastelands and stuff. I feel like Wasteland is really strong in the shell. Like the only decks you don't want to play Wasteland in, like you wouldn't want to play Wasteland in Bant Nadu. You probably wouldn't want to play Wasteland in Jeskai Control. Like you wouldn't, definitely. But like pretty much everything else, like my crappy Blue-Red Wizards, which is a corruption of Punishing Fire's much vastly superior Wizards deck, that plays, I think, for Wasteland. Yeah. So like I think Wasteland is just like really solid right now. And it just randomly kind of wins games. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Wasteland was why I won at least one of those Dredge games. But let me see if I can find. Yeah, I mean, I think this felt really good when I was playing it. Oh, Esper Stifle Knot. So I do want to play this. If you want me to play this, I will buy the Curies. They're expensive. They're like $20 or something each, and really like. They're like 50 cents, 25 cents in paper. It's ridiculous, the difference in cost on MTGO versus paper. But basically, it's this deck, but instead of having to play Doorkeeper's Role, which sucks, in my opinion, it's not that great of a card. I mean, it's a great card. Like, if you sent this card back to like 2005 or something, everybody would play 4 of, and every deck would be white because it's so strong. But it's not that great when you can compare it to like Curie, which is drawing a card when it attacks and has better toughness, and all these other pitches to force and stuff like that. So Null Drifter kind of sucks in my opinion. I think Null Drifter is overrated, like vastly overrated. I think Doorkeeper's Role is vastly overrated. I think the best version of Dreadnought is with Curie, but I'm not convinced because everybody's playing 4 fatal pushes in their deck, or like 7 removal spells like Plows and Prismatic Endings. I'm not convinced that Phyrexian Dreadnought is the way to go right now. So I've kind of stopped playing it in favor of just playing Nethergoyf, which is kind of like a mini Dreadnought, but like it's 1 black mana. It doesn't require any setup, and you can even bring it back from the graveyard. It's such a good card. So anyway. That is how I'll end it here, but I'm going to be playing a lot more of this on the channel. I didn't do a proper deck tech because the round had already started, but I've been playing this a lot. Like I lost my voice kind of. I was like coughing a ton, and then I went on a trip with the family, so my uploads have been a little bit intermittent. I'm most likely going to play this at Eternal Weekend, but I am going to continue to experiment with Esper Vial because I just love the charm of Esper Vial. But the reality is, like playing like 11 rounds of this would be so much easier on my brain, and I think I'd probably actually become a better player by playing this because like there are fewer decisions, but the decisions are much more nuanced. Like little things like catching lethal, like catching that I had a lethal line. That's something Delver players, like I played this really experienced Delver player, and he's like, all right, you found the line where you feed 1 Murktide to, you get 1 Murktide to come in, and like I had, I was really proud of myself when I solved the puzzle for how to kill them without giving them an extra turn. Sometimes when you give them an extra turn, they play Barrowgoyf, and then they play One Ring, and then GG, right? So, yeah. I love this deck though. And Joyful Waffle, I'm not nearly as good at playing this as he is, but I'm hoping to get close to as good as he is by Eternal Weekend, so I can have a real shot at maybe making top 64 again. Like the competition is going to be fierce, and a lot is out of my control. Matchups, play draw dynamics, like all kinds of different things, but this feels like a solid option, and I strongly encourage you, if you are considering playing this at Eternal Weekend, either the European one or the North American one, watch the Joyful Waffle video that I published. It's like 5 hours long. It's called like 15 win UB tempo. And you'll get to see all the nuanced decisions involved in playing this deck. It's a really fun deck, and I think it's really resilient. I think it's probably easier to play than the Grixis Delver type decks because the individual cards are a lot better. Like Nethergoyf is way better than freaking Delver. It doesn't pitch to force, but it's just so much better. It doesn't have evasion, but it's just so much better. You saw me bringing it back late game. You saw that it became a 5/6 for 1 mana. That's crazy, right? And it's black, so it doesn't get hydroblasted. Yes, it doesn't pitch to force, but it doesn't get pyroblasted. So go for the throat seemed fine. I do think that Thoughtseize were great. I think that if there's a single card that was like MVP of this league, it was Thoughtseize. It was just doing so much. It was helping us win versus Dredge. It was helping us win versus Moonstompy. I guess we played against Moonstompy twice. Just ripping out like the Blood Moon from their hand and buying us time to deploy like a Psychic Frog. We didn't win all those games, but I think we won. Let's see. Let's take a look at the record. How do I pull up my recent games? Yeah. So let's just go here, and we can see that Artie Mac, great player, one of the best players. And then so we kind of split like six games, and we won 3 and we lost 3. But they were all like, obviously, I think some of them were not close. They just resolved Blood Moon. But I definitely think like the one that I'm most excited to go back and look at is Death from Above. First of all, that's a great band. If you haven't heard Death from Above, 1979, check this out. They had to add the 1979 to their name for like trademark reasons or something. But it's just like this dude shredding on bass, and this drummer is freaking phenomenal, and he shouts over the drums. It's like really pretty cool, heavy stuff. They've got some cool music videos and stuff. Just like tons of chaotic drum and bass. But basically, I don't know. But like the players seemed really tight, and I had fun. I do feel like I was surprised that my Dredge opponent wasn't dredging more. I feel like that's the path to victory with Dredge, is like you generally want to dredge. There were several turns where they seemed to not be dredging. But my suspicion with these newer Dredge decks is that they really depend on getting a creature into play, whether that's Dark Amoeba or the Poxwalker. And if they can't get a creature into play, they can't start the chain of like sacking stuff to Cabal Therapy, and which brings back the Poxwalker, and it also creates zombies off a bridge from below and all the stuff. If you're, I'll do a quick shout out to Mahfouz Van Gogh, who is a creator here on YouTube, and he just plays a different variation of Dredge every single time. Like he's a dedicated Dredge player, and I learned a little bit just watching some of his videos. Like Dredge is not my style whatsoever, but it's you gotta like watch a little bit just in case you get paired against it. And I would not be surprised at all if at Eternal Weekend I get paired against Dredge, because there are like people that just like love playing Dredge, just like there are people that absolutely love playing Depths. I'm like, really, Depths? But no, there are people out there that just love playing Depths. And I don't know. I love playing blue spells, so that's me. Anyway, until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.